Hello and welcome to the Crochet Business School podcast. I'm Kelly Thomas, and let's talk about if you can keep selling the crochet that you make while you're building a new recurring income stream. So over the last few weeks, I've been making a series where we talk about what to do if selling what you make isn't working out for you, what the signs are that it's time to change, what your options are. And this week we are diving into, can you keep selling what you make? Do you have to stop completely? Is there a transition period, or are we talking that it's best to just stop cold turkey? There's a lot to this, and it's a worry. When you start changing things and making something new, it can be a really overwhelming time. There's lots of questions rattling around your head, and you wonder what the right answer is. But like most things, it isn't black and white. One size doesn't fit all. What is right for one person will not be right for someone else. And you need to do what's best for you. And only you can answer that question. And whether you keep selling what you make while you transition to your new crochet business and that lovely recurring income that is going to stop you from selling your time and finally make the profits you deserve in your business, while you're making that transition, you don't have to stop cold turkey. You can just cut off that selling what you make and just spend all your time getting this new business up and running. But for others, that's not an option, because the money that your crochet is bringing in from those sales, you might not be able to afford to lose. Even though over the long run, when it comes to what you make every hour, it's not very much. What it is bringing in is important to your household. And that means that you need to keep those sales going while setting up the new business. The financial gap is real. Even though it's not worth your time, you cannot afford to lose it. And so that's why you need to do what's best for you. A gradual transition so you can keep earning, keep those sales going while you do the setup and the new business starts bringing money in. That transition can happen, and it can be a slow switch from one to the other. And it's just a case of making enough time to get your new business going. And you might be thinking, where am I going to find that time? I don't have the time right now. Well, you don't. You're never going to get the time if you don't sacrifice some time working on the old business. So selling what you make, can you drop one order a week? Because that order is probably taking you 2 or 3 hours to get made to send out. You can do an awful lot to set up your new business in 2 or 3 hours. There is a sacrifice somewhere, but how you manage that and how slowly or quickly you make that transition is entirely in your hands. Now, I did stop selling what I make immediately, but that's because I had no choice. I had just got a new dog, and he's a husky. I was not prepared for the fur. I did not realise how much fur was involved because I'd never had a husky before. And with that fur going everywhere, I couldn't sell what I made because there was just too much fur. I couldn't keep it away from my yarn. I had no choice but to just stop. And even that wasn't easy. I kept trying to think of ways I could go back to selling what I made, even though I knew it wouldn't work. Even though I had to stop completely straight away, it didn't stop me from, it's almost like the jitters. It's almost like withdrawal. You spent so much time creating and building this business to sell the crochet that you make, that walking away from it isn't easy. And this is the pitfall. It's too easy to keep doing what you've always done and allow the new business to slide. You do a bit here and there, but not enough to make it meaningful, and it just stretches the time it's going to take for the new business to start making money. Now, within 6 months of me stopping selling what I made and starting writing crochet patterns, my income tripled. No joke. I tripled my profits from selling what I made in 6 months when I started writing crochet patterns. And in 6 months, you cannot make that many patterns. You have a handful. And those were already making more profit than selling what I made ever did. And when I looked at that number, I realized I'd made the right decision, and then I never looked back. But until that income starts coming through, until you start seeing those numbers and realizing that actually, yes, this is the better idea, you are still going to go backwards and forwards. You are still going to question yourself, second guess yourself. It's going to be really tempting to stay doing what is comfortable rather than getting out of your comfort zone and creating something new. Because it's going to feel that that's not important right now, because the selling I crochet made, because I've got a business set up, that's bringing in money, even though it's not enough. So that should be the priority. And it's very easy to let the other slide. You've got to make sure you make the time. You've got to make sure that that slide doesn't happen. Because once the new crochet business starts bringing the money in and you start seeing how much less time you spend on it and how much more profit you make, you begin to wonder, why was I doing the other thing? Why did I keep going back to it? You need the validation, but you can't get the validation until you put the time and effort into it to grow it in the first place. So you end up in this strange middle ground. So you want to get into a place where the business where you were selling what you made slowly shrinks, and the business where you have recurring income and there's far more profit involved slowly grows. And you slowly shift your time from one to the other to make sure that the new business works and you get the time and you concentrate on the new profits. But how that looks for you and how much time that takes is entirely down to your personal circumstances. There is no one size fits all, but a gradual transition works just fine. What you need to do, both in terms of household finances and the way your mind works, how your energy works, how you feel that you can manage your time, all this is unique to every person. Now, if you thinking this is incredibly overwhelming, it's going to be. Running 2 businesses at the same time is overwhelming. It's overwhelming doing one. But that's where this trap of not prioritizing the new one and staying in the comfort zone of the old really kicks in. Now, you're making a massive change to your life. There is no doubt about that. There is no questioning that. This is a huge change. I mean, look at everything you've done the past few years to get your crochet business up and running, to make those sales. You've put in so much work, and leaving that behind is not easy. It does feel like you're abandoning all that work, even though you're not. You're taking all those skills that you've learned with you to create something that's going to actually work for you and create the profits that you need. You know, selling what you make is, although it's the entry point for most crochet business owners, it's one of the hardest and least profitable ways to build a crochet business. Over the long term, it is not worth it. There are so many other ways that you can make money from a crochet without having to directly sell your time, which is what you're doing when you sell what you make, because everything you do takes time. People are paying for your time to make that crochet. We want to move to selling your talent, selling your skills. So when you sell crochet patterns, or you're making ad revenue from blogs or YouTube or affiliate marketing, whatever it is, you're not selling your time anymore. You're selling your skills. And that automatically changes the calculation, because now you can earn without a ceiling. You know, there's only so much you can make money-wise when you sell what you make. You have a profit ceiling. That gets removed when we add recurring income to your business. So keep an eye on the prize, to coin that. I don't really like that term, but it's, you know what I mean. You don't want these caps. You want flexibility. You want to take control of your time. And by adding recurring income, creating this new business with that recurring income in, which is what crochet patterns, courses, and all that do, it's going to give you the lifestyle and the profits that you need, having that flexibility so you can be there for your family. So keep remembering that, and it's going to help you make this transition of slowly leaving the old behind, or leave it behind immediately, whichever works for you, and create something that is going to be sustainable over the long period. Means you can take time off, work flexibly. You don't have to work full-time hours. You can work part-time and still make a full-time income. That is the potential of what you're building. Now, if you haven't downloaded it already, I've got a free PDF for you to work through to help you through this entire process. It's called Map My Path, and it includes a workbook with all the questions that will help move you through this entire process that we've been working through for this whole series. So if you want to download that, the link is in the description, and that is available for you to download right now. Now, in next week's episode, we're going to be talking about the loneliness about growing your business. Now, you've probably made a lot of connections, a lot of friends, you've been networking with other small businesses. And now that you've outgrown where you are now, where does that leave you? Where does that leave these relationships that you built through your business? We're going to be talking all about that in next week's episode, so I hope to see you then. So thank you for watching, and I shall see you next time for the next episode. Bye for now.